In the last episode, the wind and seas were building as we bash our way south to New Zealand.
In this episode, it will take you through the process of arriving in New Zealand by boat.
This is the final stretch. We're coming into Aotearoa now, about 15-20 miles away. I can see the faint glow of land lights on the horizon, and that's it. I think it's coming on watch at 1 o'clock. I'm going to see if I can get my head down for an hour or two before we actually get in there. The sun comes up about 4 o'clock, so we're going to try and time it so we get in just at first light.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho.
So it's been a bit of a technical passage. As you've seen in the blog, it's there's been different weather systems, big waves, small waves, and lots of sail changes, but we made it, and just really looking forward to getting now. I'm going to put some beers in the fridge for later, and I'm going to do a biosecurity check and get checked in, do customs and everything, and then we're going to have a big breakfast. Really looking forward to it. I think I'm looking forward to this arriving in New Zealand probably more than most places, because I know we're going to be there for a good 5 months. Obviously we've got things to do on the boat, but also really looking forward to checking out New Zealand and meeting up with some old friends and just relaxing for a bit. We've been on the move now for 2 years. If you discount the sort of few months we had in Aotearoa putting the batteries in, we've been on the move constantly pretty much, so it'll be nice to rest up and just catch up with some blogs, catch up with some maintenance, and take it easy for a change.
It's 5 in the morning and we've arrived in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand. It's very peaceful and quiet, and I'm just sailing at just over 2 knots till everybody wakes up, and then we'll go on to the wharf and head to the customs dock.
We're in New Zealand, finally.
Yeah.
It's like literally right there and there.
Maritime radio, this is Mothership, over.
Mothership, this is Whangarei Maritime Radio, channel 67, over.
Getting to 67.
Mothership, this is Whangarei Maritime Radio, Romeo, copy, go ahead.
This is Mothership. Good morning. Yeah, we just arrived in New Zealand, so we're heading to Aotearoa customs dock, so I just wanted to check in first, over.
Mothership, Whangarei. So Romeo, what's your guys' ETA to Aotearoa currently, over?
About 9 o'clock, 9 a.m, over.
And if your ETA does change to Aotearoa, don't hesitate to give us a call on channel 16. We can update customs if your ETA does change, over.
That's absolutely great. Thanks very much. And we'll let you know if anything changes.
Well, let's go back to 16 and welcome to New Zealand, guys. Whangarei Maritime Radio out.
Hey! Yep. Sounds so New Zealandish.
I'm just sorting out the trash, rubbish, into cans, plastic, and all of that. Can you looking out for boats? And we're not going into shallow areas, thank you.
In each country we have to go to, we have to hoist the quarantine flag and the courtesy flag.
It's definitely New Zealand, no?
Yeah, that's it's got the Southern Cross.
So for some reason there are like hundreds of just like mini fishing boats in this one bay, and it's really weird because you wouldn't expect like this one bay to be so popular, but yeah, it's like from one end to this massive bay to the other, it's just fishing boats everywhere. It's kind of funny, actually.
Okay, so we're slowly making our way to the customs dock, and everyone's having a breakfast that Woody cooked, a kind of cooked breakfast, because we don't know when our next meal is going to be, because it could take a while at customs. Always be prepared.
How's the food? And they're veggie sausages as well.
It actually tastes like real sausages.
Veggie.
And bacon as well. It tastes like real bacon.
It smells disgusting. I'm joking, it smells good, but the taste tastes like the smell that was happening.
Something really smelt. I thought it was the rubbish, but it was the salami that Dad's trying to cook up. It smelled disgusting. I quite like this though, it's veggie. This is cassava waffles that Woody made. Veggie sausages, egg and beans. Clearance and the passenger arrival forms. We do this like when we leave country, we do it when we arrive in a country, you do it when you leave again. You just lots of it. Even though you do it all online, you have to do it in paper again. So we do that, and also have to list all the safety equipment here. So things like life raft, flares, EPIRBs, the engine makes and models, the outboards, and it all has to be listed down here. And then we're waiting at the moment for the Customs and Immigration and Biosecurity to come to the boat and do the inspection. So we still have our quarantine flag up, and we're not allowed off this quarantine dock. But the great thing is that we're here because this is the first year that since the COVID that they've allowed people to come into the country on a boat, unless you had like, I don't know, special circumstances and were willing to sort of spend about $50,000, I think. So yeah, they just opened up after COVID. I think it's been 2 years actually. So it's great to be here. Some other kids on another boat who they know from Fiji have come over and they're playing Risk. So yeah, they're just happy to have other kids, I think, to play with, and so they're all together down there doing that.
Just making a paper boat.
Sorry.
What's Blake doing?
I'm gonna have to wait for
Blake's making a Kringle packet boat.
Nice. If you like following our story, please hit the super thanks and help towards the creation of these videos. And if you'd like to have more access, we would love it if you join our Patreon family, where you get ad-free videos, cockpit sessions, downloads, guides, and you can message us directly.
We've just had Customs, Immigration and Biosecurity on board, but we weren't allowed to film them, so obviously we haven't. But man, they were thorough. Very professional, very friendly, but very, very thorough. They went through a lot of cupboards. They took away things that, I mean, we thought we were pretty up on what needs to be taken away. So we didn't have any pork, we didn't have any honey, but there was things like popcorn. If it was microwavable popcorn, it was fine, but if it was corn kernels, it wasn't fine, and so they took a lot of those things away. Even peeled carrots, which we were kind of going to have for lunch, they took those away as well. So yeah, they kind of stripped us out, it's our fault. We should have kind of been a bit more circumspect and a bit more thorough when we read the what was allowed. But it changes all the time as well, because up until recently chicken was allowed, but it's recently changed because of avian flu in Asia. And the worst thing is they took the Fray Bentos meat pies, and I thought they were steak pies. Well, they were steak pies, but they had some pork ingredients in, I think pork kidney or something, so they took those as well. So we're stuck without meat pies now. Apparently New Zealand is very famous for its steak pies, so hopefully we'll be able to stock up. How did you feel?
I think, like Woody said, they were very professional, very friendly, and they were fair, really. I mean, I had a whole stockpile of dried chickpeas, which, you know, I do make hummus and stuff out of, but all of those went. And, you know, I kind of wish that I'd been, well, known for sure. I would have left those in Fiji, actually, because someone could have used those. And then they took the eggs, which is fine. We'd eaten most of the stuff, to be quite honest. Yeah, it was a shame about the carrots and, you know, the eggplant, but it's not the end of the world. So nothing fresh at all, really. And all the garlic and ginger. You know, I think basically buy stuff for the passage and then don't take any extra, really. They didn't take all the frozen vegetables, so that's good. All the frozen fish fingers, which no one likes. They did take the frozen chicken, but because I thought that would be okay, but it's fine. It's really, luckily we didn't have our whole freezer stocked up with stuff. So I think my advice is, yeah, don't bring any fresh or frozen stuff unless it's just vegetables. And if you've got any dried pulses that you have for emergency, just give them away before you come, or you know, or use them up before you go as well. The other thing was the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner. That had to be emptied out here, which is quite good. It needed emptying anyway, so we did all that. And then we had done a real thorough clean of the boat inside in Fiji. But obviously every now and then you get all sorts, and then we saw a spider on the deck, which I don't know where that came from, but then I was going to worry because the guy was looking around and I was thinking, I hope we haven't got any more. I don't think it came with us, but anyway, it was there. On passage we found an ant, but we got rid of that or two. So you just got to be really careful. They're very thorough here, which it's nice to be in this country and they look after their environment, and you just got, as long as you know the rules, it should be fine. I mean, the anti-foul, and they're really happy with our certificates of anti-foul, and they were happy with the fact that we'd cleaned that thoroughly before. We showed them the video. That, you know, it's really fair about that. So yeah, we're checked in now, and we are definitely going out to eat tonight because I've got no food on the boat, and probably going to get some fish and chips.
In the wake of the storm, I was shaken, I was reborn. I got another shot to make it to the top today.
We decided to take a spot in the marina last night because basically we really hadn't planned that far ahead, so we didn't really know where else to go. We could have gone out on anchor, I guess, but the dinghy was still up and it wasn't inflated. There's so many of the friends that we met across the whole of the Pacific who've actually ended up here, so it's almost like a meeting point. There's just so many people, you can't walk down the pontoon without talking to at least 2 or 3 people, and it's got everything here. It's just like, I almost feel like crying actually, because like all through the Pacific I was just spent most of my days whenever we got into town is trying to find stuff for the boat, and here it's just right on your doorstep. You know, there's chandlers, there's outdoor fishing places, there's fish and chip shops, there's pie shops, there's a general store, there's laundrettes. It's just like, it's almost like sort of we died and gone to sort of boating heaven, really.
It's great to find a laundrette, but I'm not sure I would call that heaven.
I'm ready for the slings and arrows and the fortunes lost. And there's a voice that's buried deep inside my head.
After 2 nights in the marina, it's time to go back on anchor.
Good work from the crew.
So the last few days, or the last few weeks actually, so the days are starting to roll into weeks. We've been going up and down the channel between, say, Paia and Opua, occasionally dropping into Russell. In fact, we're heading to Russell today. And Russell is on a peninsula, even though it's kind of, the peninsula is kind of so isolated that it's kind of treated a bit like an island. So there's loads of ferries go backwards and forwards between Opua and Paia to Russell. Russell being the old capital of New Zealand, where they had the first flagstaff, and where the old whalers used to hang out and do what whalers do when they've been a long time at sea. Once known as the hellhole of the Pacific, it's now kind of more like a retirement village. Does it actually get quite stormy? It's surprisingly stormy sometimes in this little channel, which looks quite protected when you look on the charts.
We are going to some shops.
For the last few days we've been stuck on the boat. It's been cold, wet and windy, and we haven't got very far. We got a lot of administration done, which is good, and we did get in once into Russell to go visit the museum, and they also went to the famous Duke of Marlborough Hotel for a drink, because that was the first licensed premises, I believe, in New Zealand in the 19th century.
This is the Duke of Marlborough Hotel, and it got the first license to sell alcohol in New Zealand, and that was to John Johnson, who used to be a convict, and he used to sell grog here.
So this is Russell Museum, and what else are you going to do on a cold, wet, windy day when you're sat at anchor? We've been sat there for a few days now, so we thought we'd better come out and do something. So a museum is as good a place as any. It's got to be better than doing homeschooling on a rocky boat. So this traces the history of what happened around here, around this part of the Bay of Islands anyway. New Zealand is one of the last places on Earth to be inhabited by humans. The original inhabitants came from Polynesia, and they crossed the vast stretches of ocean by sort of their own unique navigational aids and techniques to populate the North Island and then slowly move south. So the Polynesians arrived by these twin-hulled wakas, which are basically catamarans with two central sails. And they cross vast stretches of oceans, thousands of miles in these things. So the first Europeans here were the crew of Endeavour, captained by Captain James Cook, who comes from my neck of the woods near Whitby in the north of England.
It's 1/5 of the size of Captain Cook's original vessel.
One thing I didn't realise was Darwin actually visited here on his way from the Galapagos back to the UK. Russell is probably the oldest, or one of the oldest towns in New Zealand, dating back to sort of the 1840s, 1830s even, probably even a little bit before that.
This is the oldest existing church. It was built in 1836.
And then I think about where we're from in England. There's a church down the road from where I'm at in the northeast that actually predates the arrival of the Polynesians in New Zealand. And it's not even thought of as that peculiar, you know, it's surrounded by a housing estate, and there's no plaques up or anything. But it just goes to show how different cultures have a different perception of what history is.
This house has been a couple of things, including a customs house, a police station, private residence, all these things. And this fig tree over here was planted when the third Duke of Marlborough building was burnt down. And now the fig tree is quite a sight because it's massive.
House. Is it? Yeah, look. Oh, yeah, look. Look, that's art. That's art. That's art. Yeah. That house is probably art as well.
Whoa, that is.
So since arriving in New Zealand, we've been doing a few small walks, like this one from Opo to Paia. You can do a round one, but I don't think we're going to manage that today. We're going to try and get one in every week if we can. But one thing we did find out was when we crossed the Atlantic, and it's been nearly 2 years since we've actually worn a proper pair of shoes. And so obviously when the boys come to put the shoes on, they don't fit, or they just fall apart as soon as they put them on. So we've had to kind of desperately scramble for some shoes and some clothes. All of the tracks and the paths in New Zealand are really well looked after and really well signposted. You know, it's good. They've got signs for everything.
I saw your face painted on the wall.
I just felt something on my leg, and I thought it was like I don't know, like something just tingling me, and I looked down and I just saw that just like on me. Just imagine seeing that just on, like, crawling up your leg. Oh.
Good.
They're so cool, aren't they, Sickens? He wants to be your friend. Did you?
Really? Can we keep it in a big box? Look at this.
Hiding away, curse away the light. I remember
We want to learn more about the history here, so in the next episode we head to the Waitangi Treaty Ground and we have a special guest. Stay tuned.
You're all faded and brown. You're just namelessly hung on the tip of my...
Thank you for watching and enjoying these videos. So if you're the type of person that would like to thank us in return, then you can simply click on the Super Thanks button below, or otherwise you can support us on Patreon and get more than just 4 videos a month from as little as $3 a month. We look forward to seeing you there.